Do you want to increase conversions on your marketing campaigns? If so, listen in on today's episode. I have a conversion rate optimization wizard with me today, and he is going to share with us some really awesome practical tips that we can start to implement immediately into our marketing campaigns to increase our conversion and get that damn conversion rate price down. So without further ado, I want to introduce Alex Taylor from Funnel Empire to the show. What is going on, dude?
What is up, man? Awesome to be here. We actually tried going back and forth trying to get this set up for ages, so I'm excited to be on here, and it'll be awesome to talk about this topic today. Well, what everyone wants to know, you know.
Oh my God, it's the multi-million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
You know, how do we increase conversions? Yeah. What's going on with my ads? Why aren't they converting? I'm spending a shitload of money on ads, yeah. and people that are charging an arm and a leg to run the ads. Never mind the ad spend.
Yeah.
You know, how do I get this right? How do I get this working? So before we get into that though, Alex, those folks who don't know who you are, give us a quick bio on, you know, how you founded the Funnel Empire.
Sure thing. So, Alex Taylor, I'm from Wales originally, but I got a messed up accent now, so I sound like I'm from everywhere. We have US clients. I had an old Australian business partner, but I live in the UK still. When I was 16, I joined the military for 6 years. I just something I always wanted to do. It was that thing. I watched an advert on the TV one day, boom, I was sold. And I went in and I done it, and it sucked. It was nothing like it, and I hated it. But I ended up leaving by doing a little bit of MLM stuff. You know, that was my introductory, some affiliate marketing. And then I just somehow got into funnels when I wanted to launch my own ecom stuff. That was the thing for me 3, 4, 5 years ago, was ecom, were the early days following Trey Lewellen and the likes of them types of people. So I started creating these funnels. We ended up doing something. It didn't do very well. The whole thing failed. Stripe Cam got banned. But then someone asked me, hey, can you help me do this funnel? And I said, oh, no, I can't. But I wasn't in the mood. I was like, I'm not doing it. But he said, I'll pay you $500. And at the time, this was a third of my army wage. And I was like, and I told my girlfriend at the time, I was like, he's going to pay me $500. Anyway, I'd done the project. He was happy. His friend came along. Hey, I've got a bit of a bigger project for you, which I'll give you $1,000. And that was my initial intro into it. I was like, this is incredible. It was proof of concept. After I had acknowledged, but this is possible, and it is a different world. You'll get that. It's a different world for us type of people, but it is real. And once I got that intro into it, we started building funnels. I met my old business partner, Chris Murray, over in Australia. We launched everything with Funnel Empire. He's now left. So now it's me and a small team, and we're going to be growing very, very quickly in the next few months to really nail down on helping people grow their business through funnels just by a few tweaks and changes that we can make to their advertising campaign, their content, and their funnel. And that, to some people, to our audience, is a small commitment and could mean a $200,000 return over a period of 6 months, you know. So that's what we really focus on helping with now, is people who already have this working, but they know there is some things that they could change which can make it work 10 times better. And for us, hey, that's our heaven. If that's you on this call, go to funnelempire.co and let's talk.
the shameless plug, but 4 minutes in, I love it. I love it. One thing I love about you, Alex, when I first met you a couple weeks ago, your energy is just, it's on fire. I love it. I love it. You know, and it's funny because a lot of the folks that I meet from the UK are very like laid back and like very comfortable, like where they are. I don't really find a lot of eager go-getter. No offense, but like
this is a whole other conversation.
I know. But when I get that from you, I love it. So this is really, really good stuff. So it's funny because what you do is a division of what we do here at Unique Designs. It's not everything that we do, but a lot of funnel development is done here in-house.
Love it. I've seen it.
Well.
I love all your stuff.
But yeah, I appreciate that. And so, you know, I totally get the grassroots build of, you know, the world of funnels and marketing funnels and sales funnels and what that market looks like now, you know, because there's a lot of folks that do what we do, that shouldn't be doing what they shouldn't be doing it at the moment because they just don't have enough experience. And I can say that proud because I was one of those guys too. But eventually I got my feet wet enough and I went through enough hurdles and I got my ass kicked a couple of times that made me realize I need to build out this team. I need to get people around me that are better than me in certain areas and really scale this thing. And luckily that's what I was able to do. Now, getting into the nuts and bolts of today's conversation, it is all about conversion rate optimization. So let me kick off the conversation like this. There's 3 things that everyone should be paying attention to before they even run an ad for their product or service. You have to pay attention to your story. You have to pay attention to your hook, and you have to pay attention to the offer. And that comes from my buddy, Russell Brunson, in, I think it's .com Secrets, the first book he ever came out with. But man, that is 3 things. Like if your ads aren't converting or you're not getting great optimization, you're not getting any conversions, those are the 3 things that I would look at first. Now that I've set the foundation, I want to let you lay the bricks on top of that and start to build the house. So what are some things that we can do to begin optimizing those 3 pillars of a marketing campaign?
Sure. So and I think to make sure, because everyone's going to be in a different journey of their optimization process. We'll have people who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. And we might have someone who's listening to this today who's only spending a few $100 or something like that. So the best way for me, I guess, to break this down is to start how we would start a campaign. We go through, we set up the funnel, we're ready to launch. After we launch, within the first 30 days, that's our optimization process. That's where we'll really start to understand what is working, what isn't working, and we'll make a few tweaks and changes within inside about 30 days. After that, the types of changes that we make, especially we run campaigns that we're spending 5 figures a day on advertising, and we were doing optimization like all day, every day, because the numbers were turning to, we were getting data so quickly. We were just like, right, we can make another change. So it was so important. For one thing, which people do not do, is to keep optimization checklists. We use Dropbox Paper, if you're familiar with what Dropbox Paper is. So we have different folders for each client, and every time someone gets onboarded, the 5 folders go straight into their folder, and one of them is the optimization process. So every time we're making changes inside of these funnels, it's getting logged down, noted who's done it on our team, and just made sure whoever is overseeing it is just making sure that it's going down right. Because otherwise, especially, that's what I mean, for companies who are at that scale, to make these changes all the time, sometimes you'll probably forget which changes you've actually made. So it's important for us to document that along the way as well. There are a million other things that we can do to kind of to optimize our funnel and our ad side as well. Just a few tweaks to our ads and copy and stuff. What specifically would you like to kind of talk about?
Yeah. So when we say conversion rate optimization, I'm looking for some tactical things that we can do. Like, I know one of the big mistakes I made in the past was I would launch a funnel and I would go into the optimization phase. I'm talking about myself 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't hire anybody yet. This was me doing it, right? And I would change 2 or 3 different things at the same time.
Yeah.
And then if I got a better conversion rate, I would not know
which one it is.
It's an elementary amateur mistake. So that's one that I think we could start with. Right. But we have to keep in mind, Alex, my audience may not be as aware or educated on funnels, or they may not even know what conversion rate is.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So we got to go back to sort of the
awesome. Okay.
The elementary stuff here.
Let's do it. Okay, cool. So, so when we're setting up funnels initially, for us, if someone has never run a product or an offer or whatever, and we're setting up a funnel for them, the initial thing that we're trying to do, as I mentioned earlier, was to prove concept, right? Once we can prove concept that something works, and yes, it doesn't matter how bad the CPA was or how bad our AOV was, we can improve that. Once we have proven that product works through that specific funnel, then we can make optimization tweaks, or what we would call conversion rate optimization. And basically what this means is tweaks and changes focused to improve the conversion rate and ultimately our revenue. If we're improving our conversion rate on our order page, that means that more people are potentially paying for the 100 people that come through, for example. So this is something that is a constant process. As long as we're working with the client, we will be going through and we'll be optimizing their campaign, not just for the funnel, but also for the advertising campaigns as well. As you'll know, retargeting campaigns and stuff like that, keeping the content fresh if it's a long-term type of product, So yeah, I think that's my kind of 2 cents.
So what are we changing? So what are some elements that need to be tweaked or constantly,
So something really interesting we actually done for a client. We spoke about this just prior to, and we said let's cut it off and we'll talk about it in a second. But we had a client that's doing. They've got an online monthly membership course. It's doing really, really well. But we're always optimizing and we're making changes within inside of the funnel. Now, one thing that the client is a very passionate girl. She's when she on the VSL itself, she's amazing, perfect client to work with. But she's recommending off the bat, even though I didn't say it, hey, I really want to redo this VSL and put more passion into it and who I am. And I said, this is not normally one of the first things that we would do on an optimization process, because it's such a big part. We can change headlines, we can change button colors, we can change maximizing our guarantee to try and solidify our offer. There's a million different things that we can do to optimize. But she said, hey, I want to try and redo the VSL. And at the moment, it's getting like 5x the results that the old VSL is doing. So I'm super excited to keep running that and see how that's going. But that's a great one to talk about straight away. And let's go back to websites. When websites were new and they were coming up, they were buying, they were investing into websites. They spend a few $1,000, whatever it might be, and they have a website. Most of the time, no one really advertised to it, did they? It just kind of sat there. Now that we're creating these funnels and the purpose for the only time people were going to see them is when direct traffic is going through to this. Right. We have constant data to be optimizing. A website is a website, but when we have these funnels, video, as I mentioned earlier, video is a great one to start with. We've also got the buttons, potentially colors to change headlines, testimonials, as I mentioned earlier, solidifying the guarantee, really trying to give what we would call as a risk reversal. That's a fantastic one to talk about. So what this means, and to dumb it down here, is instead of just saying, hey, if you don't like the program, you get your money back after 30 days. If you don't like it within that 30 days, we're saying, hey, listen, we're that confident that you're going to love this program that not only you're going to get your money back, but we're also going to give you a $20 coupon to XYZ. Because then that is also for us as a company is really focusing on our 4% as people, as someone as like Nicholas Kuzmich talks about this, is it's your 4% of your audience. And if you really hone in on that 4% of the audience just by asking questions like that and stuff like that, it does really, really well inside of your funnels.
Okay. So we talked, so you said button colors, you said headlines, you said potential videos, you said the guarantees, the testimonials. These are all different things that you could tweak. Now, don't make the same mistake I did and change them all at the same time. Go one by one. And so can you talk a little bit about this optimization checklist that you mentioned?
Sure. So every time that we have the actual optimization checklist of you. So it's just an open doc that we have. So it will just have title of the day, the title and the date of when we're starting that optimization, what we are doing, say for example, changing button colors from green to blue, and then afterwards we'll put the results of it. After 7 days, normally we would test for, or 100 people to hit that offer, we would say these are the results of that change, and then we'll make another change depending on scale, of course.
Got it.
But yeah, that's.
So do you usually let a length of time, or is it how many visitors hit the page?
Yeah, so our very first change normally that we make, we would say around about 100 to 200 people. Once we've launched a campaign and 200 people have hit the page, then we can look at making some changes. By that point, hopefully we should have generated a few sales, and we got a baseline idea of what our CPAs are, what our AOV is if we do have upsells and stuff like that.
And AO, you gotta break down these
average order value. So if you guys have 6 products within inside of your cart and someone buys 3, it accumulates that free orders within that one person over all of the orders and tells you what the average order value for your customer is. So you can gauge how much your customer's worth, you know, just off that first initial purchase. Sometimes if you have ongoing memberships and stuff like that, you can't really gauge that from the AOV, but that's where your sticker rate and your lifetime customer value.
Very, very important to understand what one customer is worth to you.
100%.
Because so very important that you mentioned that. Now, again, that's a whole nother episode as well. But okay, so this is good stuff. So so it's not typically the ad, like, is it the ad that has the problem, or is it typically the funnel that has the problem?
So this is either way, and I think you know that as you smiled once saying it. So it's either way, but it depends. So it's one. Actually, I won't talk about that. But if you look at the ad and there's problems with the ad, of course, if we understand what's going, if we're running Facebook ads or Google ads.
So what are some typical problems with an ad that you commonly see?
Graphics that people are using, how long ads are being left there. You know, people have seen an ad like 30 times in a row. You know, we just need to make sure that we've got a few seconds, you know. We've literally got a few seconds, and I don't want to go too much into this because this isn't my forte, the advertising side. Derek and our other side of our team, they handle all the advertising side.
Okay, good.
But it's 100%. There's graphical changes we can do. A huge tip that I got from someone was all you have to do is increase the contrast, and is proven to increase. Someone ran as a split test and said that they got higher conversions because it pops more. You know?
Right.
So it's just, you know, changing things like graphics and what's the first initial question that we're asking inside the copy and stuff like that. I would love to focus on.
Let's go. Let's go there. Let's go there.
Sure. So, actually, where would you like to start? What would you like to go back to? I think we went over.
You're so like 9,000 RPMs. I love it. I love it. So where I would like to go back is, this may sound really overwhelming to somebody who is so my audience is typically personal brands, solopreneurs. Maybe they're a mom and pop business. They don't even know perhaps what Clickfunnels even is, right? Sure. So, you know, we need to we need to really let them understand that, like, you may be getting in over your head when it comes to this stuff. And that's why it's extremely important to take an evaluation of what the best use of your time is, and maybe hire this stuff out. Okay. So I want to get into this for a second, because I know my audience is going to want to know this. Before you hire someone like yourself, right? What would you tell someone who is in the market of hiring you, right?
Yeah.
What they should look out for to make sure that they hire the right person?
Easy. Okay. If you look at the designs of your work and you don't look at it and go, that's fucking amazing, don't hire them. Number one, you know, who have they worked with? You know, are they credible? For example, you, of course, everyone knows that you'll work with you, they'll have a fantastic experience, you know. Are they credible? Do they have testimonials? You know, simple things, I think. But the design stuff as well, because it depends what services they are hiring for: design, copy, email, etc. You know, but a full scale agency, for me, if to work with us, it's just whether or not we get along as good people, you know. Because we can help with your service and you can pay us the money that we require, but it's whether or not me and you get along and we can hack each other in 6 months' time. You know, that's really what we are about, is sticking around for. That's why the optimization process is so long as well. You know?
Right, and we'll get into that with the questions from the community segment later on. So, all right. So now that we got that out of the way, right? What's the first, like, what do we need to do? So see, we're spoiled with Clickfunnels because it's so easy to make those changes, to update those, right? So so I would just say this: listen, if you're serious about really growing your business online, one of your first investments should be a Clickfunnels account, period. And I'll actually throw my affiliate link in the show notes later to let you guys get a 14-day trial of ClickFunnels. And have your way inside of that and start to build a couple of funnels. I know the one funnel away challenge is really, really popular right now.
Yeah, that's rocking around. So
yeah. So like, have at it and then realize that you shouldn't be touching your funnels and then call either one of us. That's pretty much my advice to you. No, seriously. So once we get a higher conversion rate for our funnel, meaning more people are actually taking action on our offer and they're buying.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
So one thing I think which would make all of this a lot easier if you are optimizing your funnel or your website or your advertising campaign itself is what we are using to track. Now, for our funnels, we previously used Hotjar, but now we use Lucky Orange, and there's also some other stuff.
And what are those softwares?
What it allows you to do is look at what people are doing once they're going through your page. So if you're on your mobile or your desktop or tablet, it will show you the length of time that they were on your website. How many page steps they went to, what they're clicking on, and that's part of our optimization process, is to go through this data and see what people are hesitating on. Why are they reading, hey, when's the 14-day money back guarantee in the frequently asked questions? Because if we can look at that to me says, hey, there's not enough trust, or our offer is not strong enough. Because if they go into frequently asked questions and saying, when can I get my money back if there's a problem, so then we have to make the offer stronger.
So you're watching. So Lucky Orange basically
we're
records
watching the screen of what they're doing and what they're tapping and everything. Yeah.
So you're watching like what, their cursor?
Yeah. I wonder if I could is there any way I can share my screen?
Of course you can.
No.
I mean, our podcast guests aren't going to be able to see it, but if I use this for video, we can actually.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it allows you to it allows you to see exactly what people are doing. It also creates a heat map for you, so you can see all where people have clicked and stuff like that. So it's really, really useful information. Now, here we go. I have got, right, let me see if I can share my screen here. Invite, share screen.
Wow, this is really, really cool.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I love this like detective work.
Can you see my, yeah, it is.
I can.
Okay, cool, awesome. So we do have a live visitor here right now. So if we go on live view.
Oh, wow.
We can see what someone is doing once they're. So this is the VSL page that they get at, and at the moment it looks like they're just kind of chilling on here at the moment. But if we go into the recordings, you can see here what it shows us, where people are from, what links they went to, how many page steps, and what I would do is create a quick segment so I can see how many people hit 3 pages, right? If we have a funnel, that's 4 steps, 4 pages long, we want to know why they aren't buying on page number 3.
Right.
We would go to page number 3, for example. But if I go to page number 2 here and play this, so this one's on mobile.
Right.
You can see exactly what they're doing. See, you can see them scrolling through and everything.
Wow, look at this.
Yeah, so we can look now, and if you see them highlight or go over something or focus their time on it, we know that potentially there's something that we need to change there, or we need to highlight more. And it's also a great way to figure out if you have any bugs, because some people just don't tell you. Of course, they don't reach out.
They're putting in their name. So she put in her name, or they put in their name.
Yeah, they're idle for a few seconds.
Yeah, this is so cool, guys. You're like, watch them take action on this.
Yeah, literally. Skip idle activity. Here we go.
There we go. And then they click then they click yes. Wow, that's a long email.
Yeah.
And then they go, and now this takes them to the next page.
Now they get to the VSL page, and then they go through the VSL and stuff. So we can see, we'll be able to see what she's doing. So she didn't even read the video. She didn't even watch the video, went straight past it. So a scroller. Or maybe no, don't want to watch that video. So anyway, it's a good way for us.
We got a stage 5 scroller, guys. We got a stage 5 scroller.
But yeah, it's a great way for us to see exactly what people are doing, and we can pick up some really valuable information through doing
Wow. So
Even
Lucky Orange.
Even just the heat map itself. Yeah, Lucky Orange, or there's Hotjar, which is also a variation.
Hotjar.
We use Lucky Orange. It's more affordable for agencies. Hotjar will just rinse your bank account if you have like 20 clients funnels in there. Yeah. So go Lucky Orange if you're an agency. Hotjar if it's just your account, because they have better analytics.
Oh, they do. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I listen, I don't use either. And so I would probably.
It's really interesting to put on your website. It's free as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure to put one website on, it's free. So go and put it on your website and see what people
for Hotjar. For Hotjar.
Yeah, I'm sure either Lucky Orange or Hotjar.
Okay.
It will be free to sign up. Try it free. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen,
it's interesting to find out.
This is good. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. Yeah. It's funny because I have a meeting with my Facebook ads team in about an hour, and this has to be executed immediately. Yeah. Because we're sitting here, scratching our heads going, maybe it's the offer, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But we're shooting in the dark here because we're not seeing how people are navigating the page. And the good news is we're getting quite a bit of traffic to the page. Awesome. They're just not moving forward. Yeah. Right? And so we need to figure out why. And this is some great resource.
Yeah. There was we just on final point with this as well. We done something recently for a client where they had a VSL video, but for some reason every single person was just scrolling past. No one was viewing it. So what we done was we created this, but we found out that information by the Lucky Orange. So we created a split test to force all of that content to hide until like 2 minutes into the video, and then it will show, and everyone was watching it, and then they were buying subsequently, because the video had so much more impact, and we know that's why we create them. But people sometimes they just don't watch them,
Wow. So and it was, I apologize, guys that are listening. I wish you could have saw the video, but it was amazing to watch this visitor just blow right past the video and scroll straight down to the bottom of the page. It was very, very interesting to watch, where you would think your natural reaction is to hit the play button on the video that pops up in front of your face, right? Because as marketers, we're like, oh, we're going to put this video right here because this is the first thing that they're going to see. Meanwhile,
straight past.
It was crazy to watch. So, wow, this is some really, really good stuff. Okay, so here's what I want to do. Let's get into the docs prescription, and I want to leave you guys with 2 to 3 actionable steps that you guys can hammer out immediately. Okay. So step 1, if you are new to funnels, go grab a Clickfunnels subscription and try it out for half a month and see if it's something that is going to be helpful for your business. My business literally lives in it. So and so does Alex's. So, for anybody who really wants to scale their business, ClickFunnels is a great, great software. And you hear me talking about it a lot. The second thing, when you get into conversion rate optimization, again, you want to think about your offer, the hook, like why somebody needs this, right? Yeah. And the backstory, okay? Why, like, how did you get going on this? Now, you don't have to bring them through the weeds, but you need to tell them real quick why this is important and how you came to create this product. People really want to know why. Okay. Sure. Then the next thing is, don't make the same mistake. When you go in to start testing your funnel to see if it works or what may be the potential problem, don't make several changes on it at once, because you're never going to understand what the issue is. So Alex said, make a change and let it ride for at least 7 days, or at least 100 to 200 visitors on that.
You might get that in 30 minutes, if depending on traffic. So depending on your traffic, like if 100 people, 200 people hit your page, regardless if that's a week, a year, whatever, when you hit 200 people hit that first split test, that's enough time, in our opinion, to then make a good decision on what to change.
There you go. And
that's enough data.
And in ClickFunnels, it's really cool. You can actually, what a split test is when you have a funnel page or a landing page that you're driving traffic to, you hit a button and ClickFunnels literally duplicates that page. And you can set the percentage of how many people you want to hit that second page. You make the subtle change on the second page and then continue to run traffic. And what will happen is every other person that comes to that page will see that split test version of the page with the change that you made. And that will give us the analytics we need to understand, ooh, the orange button for the call to action on the page is working way better than the blue button. We can turn off the page that has the orange button and simply run all the traffic now to the page with the
converted one.
Yeah, to the converted page, right? I think I messed that up with color, but the orange button is working. So turn off the blue button page and just run it to the orange. And ClickFunnels allows you to do all of this inside. So that's why ClickFunnels is awesome. Yeah. Right. So, but make one change at a time. Make 100%. One change at a time. Otherwise, you're going to be lost as hell, and you're going to be like, oh shit, now I don't know what to start. I got to start over. So that is that. And then last but not least, just make sure if you're in the market of hiring somebody to help you with your Facebook ads or any of that sort, make sure that you do a thorough research on them. Look for testimonials, look for results, look for past work, look for case studies, get on the phone with them, have a conversation with them, see if you're going to jive with them. I like what Alex said before, and we're cut from the same cloth when it comes to this. I really look for the long-term relationships with my clients because that's the time I spend a lot of time with them, and I'm sure Alex does too. This is not something that you're done with in 30 days. This is something that takes a lot of time. And so if you can't stomach these people 6 months from now, and you got that feeling right up front, don't take them on. No. Find another person that you jive with and connect with. And
so much
hire,
more fun.
Yeah, and hire them. It's going to be a lot more fun. And as clients, you deserve to work with the right people. So that's my last point of advice. Now, let's get into questions from the community. This one is actually, we're going to have a lot of fun with this one because I told Alex before the show, I said, this is going to be our question of the day. And he goes, oh man, I can't wait. Okay, so I apologize in advance for this username. I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's Black Sableza. Sorry, buddy. Why? Sorry. But his question, and this is from Instagram, his question was, when you have a client that doesn't respect your skill set or tries to reduce your input, how do you reestablish power in the relationship without harming any future work that you may generate from this particular client? So I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to ask Alex how he would handle it. Right. So first and foremost, what I would do, we got to address the elephant in the room, right? When it gets to this point, it's very hard to go back. Okay. So what I would do is set those expectations up front. I'll give you an example. When someone is interested in hiring me, I will tell them up front, you got to hire who you trust and trust who you hire. If you're going to go and get knee surgery done, right, and they're wheeling you into the operating room, are you looking over your shoulder and glancing at the doctor and asking that doctor what scalpel he's going to use on your knee surgery? No. You've hired him because you trust him full on to reconstruct your knee and get you better, period. So if you want to become an art director, if you want to become a copywriter, then by all means, go for it. But I'm not going to be your guy because we don't push levers here. We don't just push buttons for our clients. We actually partner with them and strategize with them. So I just tell them up front, if you're just looking for a lever puller, go to Upwork, go to Fiverr, go to somebody who's 90% cheaper than us because that's what you need. And right away, they're like, no way, that's why I'm hiring you. This is why I called you, so on and so forth. You set that expectation up front, it's already implanted in their head. Now, you may have to remind them down the pike when they start to art direct or they start to try to control or run or direct a project. My typical response when it does come to that, very rarely does it do we have to have this conversation. I've been doing this for 13 years, so it's a little bit easier now. But it's just a simple reminder. Hey, Tommy, can you remind me why you hired me in the first place? I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. And just get them back to why they hired you in the first place. Because, and you say it with a smile, say it laughingly. Don't say it like you're making fun of them or you're trying to combat them, because they'll pick up on that. Dude, tone and voice and your body language, especially if you're on a Zoom call like this, like that means everything, right? Everything. So how you deliver that is going to determine how they're going to take it, right? And so just remind them, you know, I'm here to help you, but you got to let me do what I do. This is what I do, right? And I know it's tough. You're a business owner. I'm a business owner. We want control. I get it. But your best interest, I have your best interest in mind, because I want this to be a case study for us. I want you to be a raving testimony for me. So, and then they back right off. But if you take it personal and start to get at him, they're going to be like, I hired the wrong person. So that's how I would handle it. So set the expectation up front. Let them know who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it that way. And make sure that they kind of qualify themselves before they jump in to bed with you. And that's going to eliminate this shit later on. Now, Alex, how would you handle this situation?
So just to confirm as well, because there's a few different ways. Is this for me with a potential client?
We're tending to a client. And the client starts to belittle us and starts to, you know, not respect our skill set.
Sure. God, the whole time you went through your answer, I was trying to come up with a better one. Other one, realistically, what I do, for me, I would admit that I, for some reason, had you know, went into business with the wrong person or whatever, and I just try to get out as soon as possible. Okay. And I do it respectfully, and I just say, listen, I just don't want the hassle. Yeah. Unless it's but it's difficult, because if it's worth it, you know. Sometimes if you try and have a mutual conversation about it, if you can't have a conversation about it which will come to a resolve, then for me, I just walk away, you know.
So what's worth it to you?
What, as a business owner, what do you mean?
Well, you said if it's worth it, I'll put up with it. That's kind of how I interpreted it.
See, that was a business owner point of view. If the business that we generate from that client is worth it, sometimes, hey, this is dead straight up honest. Sometimes we just put up with it. Okay. You know, it's not something really that we would do now, but because of the process we would go through to make sure we do pick and work with the right people, and the right projects, you know. Yeah. Because there's a ton of variables going into it. Hey, are they relying on this? Is this money going to set them in a shit state? You know, there's a lot of things to it. So for me, I just go, listen, whatever work I've done, you keep it. You don't owe me any more money. I don't know anything. Boom, done. Unless they said, listen, no, this is my bad. I apologize. Let's renegotiate or whatever. Then I'd say, yeah, okay, let's do it. But otherwise, I'm not down for the drama. I just want to make people happy, and of course, run a successful business where people respect and know where to go to. You know, and I don't think squabbling is my type of place.
I love it, man. And listen, you're 24 years old, right?
24.
Yeah, dude. I wish I had that mindset when I was 24. Yeah. My mindset when I was 24 was, I'm just going to bury this guy.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's why I'm stopping myself, because I'm just like, no, I don't want. I just don't want.
And I would go see, when I used to get that confrontation, I used to go right at it like two bulls locking horns, right? Now, you know, 13 years later, I am more of the Tai Chi type of guy, where when they come at me full bore, I just get out of the way and let them come charging right past me, you know, and basically take that energy and give it right back to them. And it's like, I'm doing like the Star Wars, like Street Fighter thing here but you give it right back to them. And, you know, like Alex said, you know, obviously you got to have those terms and conditions up front, make sure that there's no surprises. But again, when you set the expectations up front and sometimes it still doesn't work right. You know, I had to get rid of a client, really high profile client, but his ego was too big for me and my team, and I just couldn't tolerate it anymore. So, you know, we agreed upon a fair, he paid me up front too, $50,000. Right up front. And we agreed that I will keep partial of that and I will refund the rest. And whether he was truly happy with that at the end, I told him at the end of the day, sir, I don't work for free. Neither does my team. You know, we didn't solicit you. You solicited us. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and that's okay. But
we'll do whatever to make it
better. We'll do what we'll make it right. I'm going to give you 90% of your money back, right? But thank God I have Thebranddoctor. Thebranddoctor really manages our time and lets us know. We spent over 51 hours on this project. If I were to give him 100% refund, I would have took a huge beating because I pay all my team. I paid my team already. So, you know, I a
lot of variables.
A lot of variables. So I just took it there. I did a whole freaking episode on this already. But
Did you?
It makes sense to just revisit this because a lot of people struggle with this, but you just make it right and you move on and that's it. You know, just because it didn't work out with that person doesn't mean you suck. Doesn't mean they suck. Right? It just wasn't a good fit. But and listen, had I followed my process to a T with this guy, I would have never had this issue. I deviated because I got a little starstruck and it bit me in the ass. So don't do that. Take it from the man himself. It's only going to come back and bite you in the ass. Follow your process. And just live and die by it because you know it works. You know it works. So there you have it, guys. So quick plug for my man, Alex Taylor, right? Where can people learn more about you and what you do for your market?
Sure. So we have our website, funnelempire.co. You can go schedule a call there, find information about us, our projects, our design. You can steal some stuff. A lot of people do anyway, so no problem. But you can schedule a call with us and speak to me personally on there for anything. But if you want to see what we're doing, what we're up to, we have Instagram. We're going to be pumping out a lot of content over the next few months, which I'm excited about. Just hired a video, guys. I told you a few days ago. So yeah, you can find us on Instagram. I'm sure you'll put something down below or whatever. But if you type in Funnel Empire, we'll come up.
And
also our Facebook page also.
Awesome. And dude, I would love to do a duo Instagram live with you one of these.
100%. Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be a lot of fun. Alex, bro, I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show and sharing your insights and experience and really giving our audience a really solid deliverable when it comes to value.
Appreciate it. Awesome. A lot of stuff to think about, but think about your brand and what you're doing and just look at it from the content you have, the videos you have, what the messaging is, and just think, you know, close your eyes, open it and go, would I buy or would I want to buy into this person? If the answer is no and you want to do it yourself, you'll get what the changes are.
That's right.
Find your brand and, you know, find your audience and you'll be able to easily make these changes.
That's it. Well, there you have it, guys. Another episode in the books. Before I leave, couple things. One is hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet and subscribe to this podcast if you are seeing the value and hearing the value and consuming the value. Share it with a friend or colleague that this information could be helpful to. And I appreciate that. If you haven't written a quick little written review on iTunes, please do that right now. So thankful and appreciative of that. And if you haven't checked out the show notes yet, I have a few offers there that I would have you check out. One being the digital products link that will bring you to about a dozen digital products on my website, from how to build brand awareness, 100 ways to build brand awareness. We have the live stream video training that's about to launch in a day or so. That'll be up by the time this is out. The Brand Yourself course, brand new, completely updated, 3.5 hours worth of just straight, pure value that is going to help you build your personal brand. I basically give you 13 years and 3.5 hours of content. So go check that out. And my personal brand training. If you haven't checked that out, it's a 42-minute video that's going to help you level up the quality of your brand, help you attract higher quality clients, and really work with less people and make more money. So have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.